A strong cast sells a dark story while keeping things fun and loyal to Star Wars lore. And fast, challenging combat mixes with energetic platforming, decent puzzles, and diverse locations to explore for an all-around amazing game.
Yeah, no. This game's not that. Whatever you just described there. It is good, but definitely not on the level that other people make it out to be. However, I can see why people think like that, because even I fell into that trap. Really, through my time playing the game, I was just hoping that the game would get better, that the next mission would really be cool. But honestly, I was kinda blinded by the nice sounding lightsaber and cool visuals. But now that I actually finished the game and can take a step back to see through the haze, I actually see a different story. The entire time I played this, I was hoping for improvement that didn't really come until the very end, until it was kinda too late. And this is coming from this kid that played through The Force Unleashed when he was 6 and got scared at certain parts because they were scary, right? My main issue with the game is that we haven't really gotten a good Star Wars single player game in a long time. And since 1313 was cancelled, it wasn't even on the table to get a single player Star Wars game, ever again. However, we did get lots of other cool single player games in the last couple of years, and my main issue with this game is that in comparison to these games, this game just does not cut it. Not even close. And I actually don't want to diss EA or Respawn, because I think they did a fantastic job for the first ever Star Wars game, and for the first pure single player game. But overall, after having finished the game in 23 hours, I honestly have to tell you guys, it's not that good. And I'm surprised by that myself. Because when I played the game, it felt amazing, it felt awesome. But looking back at the game, I honestly have to say that most of the time I actually was so interested in the game because I expected it to become better. Oh, the next planet, something crazy is gonna happen on there. Oh, the next mission will be awesome. And I kind of was in this trance of always awaiting the next big thing, and that's also why in my preview I gave this game an 8 out of 10, and I thought that the game would improve. Number one, it really didn't, and number two, I don't think it is an 8 out of 10 anymore. Now, after finishing the game, I have to say that this game is a good Star Wars game. Not more. It's not the next game of the year, neither is it a legendary game, nor a great game. I will never replay this game. You know why? Because it's not that good. It just isn't. And I am the biggest Star Wars fan. Well, maybe not the biggest, but I honestly have to say that the main reason people are so hyped over this game is that we haven't had any Star Wars single player games to compare it to. And that is why so many people, so many Star Wars fans, look at this game and are like, wow, this is amazing. But realistically speaking, if you strip away the Star Wars part and look at what there is in this game, and compare that to other games, this game is kinda trash. Not trash, but you know what I'm trying to say here. I mean, if we look at some of the craziest games we have gotten in the last decade or something, and I'm talking about games like Skyrim, Witcher 3, they are not even comparable. And I love Star Wars more than I do their universes. But frankly, this game is the epitome of wasted potential to me. You could have done so much more with this game, but they just didn't. And nobody seems to recognize that. So I'm going to tell you now what I don't like about the game and then give you my final score. And I already know you're gonna hate me for this one. But you know, maybe you actually agree with me after I highlighted the flaws of this game. And if not, I can only hope you miss the dislike button and hit the like button. So let's begin with a simple comparison. This game to The Witcher 3. And I know not everybody played The Witcher 3, and that's fine. But most people that played it, and actually many critics, agree that The Witcher 3 is a 10 out of 10. Or at least close to a 10 out of 10. A legendary game. A game that is remembered for being that good. A game which you will compare similar games to. Now if you compare this game to Witcher 3, and maybe my Witcher 3 fanboy shines through here a bit, but this game isn't even close to the level of The Witcher 3. It's not even in the same dimension. However, I see critics like IGN giving this a 9, and I gotta ask myself, where the fuck are these numbers coming from? This is not a 9. Like, my god, this is not a 9. This is definitely not very close to the best score possible. So honestly speaking, for the people that can only buy one game a year and actually have to watch out for that, and there are tons of people like that, by God, don't buy this game. Don't buy this game. It's such a waste. It's a $60 game, and how many hours will you be getting out of it? And I'm talking about actual fun hours. 15, 20 maximum. Absolute maximum. This reminds me of the Telltale games, where you pay $20 for a game, and some of them are awesome. They have cool stories. It's like watching a movie for 10 hours, and then you're done. This game cost 60 and lasted 20. This game is not what I expected, but on the other hand, it also is what I expected. It's a game where you pay $60 to get a decent experience, however, it's only 20 hours. A couple of you might now say, well, Max, it's at least it's not 10 hours. Well, yes, it's more than 10. If you expected 10 hours of gameplay, yeah. This is not Call of Duty. COD is known for having had campaigns in the past that were like 10 hours. Alright, cool, but Call of Duty also has multiplayer, and many people play it just for the multiplayer. And this game only has a story. And if this game would have had only 10 hours, I wouldn't have bought it. So it's high time we talk about the flaws of the game. This story. It's not even that the story is necessarily bad, but it sure as hell isn't good either. You play Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan who survived Order 66, from my boy Palpatine, and now lives on this trash planet. He has to use the Force, and bam, the Inquisitors show up to boop him on the nose. After that, the story starts taking a nosedive. You get saved by your new companions that are as bland as they can be, something I'll talk about later, and get sent on a planet where you have to unlock a vault to get a holocron, which includes the locations of all Force-sensitive children of the galaxy. Now that doesn't even make sense to begin with. Like, what are you gonna do with that list? You have Cal Kestis, who doesn't even remember how to pull his lightsaber to himself, and the girl that cut herself off from the Force. Like, what are you gonna teach them in? Sucking? Anyway, you now have to go to multiple planets to open tombs and recover information on how to open the main tomb. Now if you are thinking about ancient Sith tombs like the ones on Korriban, you are mistaken. Those are Zepho tombs, a race that might have been interesting if I would have spent another 5 hours searching for hidden information on them. But I didn't. So to me they are some weird alien looking dudes that died out. Cool. And that's kinda the story. You go to Kashyyyk to find more information and help Saw Gerrera, and that's about it. Now 95% of the story is actually really bland. However, and this is the weird part, the story does have some fantastic highlights. For example, when you fly the big nature protecting bird on Kashyyyk, or when you fight the Dark Jedi, or when Vader shows up. But that's only 5%. The rest of the story is just playing and hoping that something cool might happen. But honestly, most of the time, doesn't. The saving grace is the world. Honestly, whoever designed the world should get a raise, because it looks amazing. When you're outside and not in some ugly caves, which you are actually quite a lot in, oh. So at least you have something nice to look at while it's going after your story missions. Now the biggest problem I have with the story is that it doesn't pick up until the very end of the game. Until like the last 2 missions, the story is average at best, and then it picks up right at the end. For example, when you fight the Dark Jedi. But the game is over, and I had to ask myself what the problem was with adding in more of the cool parts and removing some of the boring ass Indiana Jones ripoff parts. That actually reminds me of the companions. I hated the companions in this game. Honestly, I don't know why people like them. They have some interesting characteristics, but nothing we haven't seen before. Grease is the 4-legged alien that is grumpy to begin with and then slowly warms up to you. Alright, I haven't seen that before. Sia is the tutor figure and is about as bad a character as she can be. I didn't like her at all. She's boring, uninteresting, and I only warmed up to her in the very last mission when they killed her. I was like, wow, and then she came back and I was like, oh. The most interesting character is actually the Night Sister that joins you, and when that happened, I was really excited. I wanted to get to know her better, learn something about Night Sisters and their magic. Guess when she joins the crew? Right before the last mission. An hour after she joins, the game is over. RIP. Honestly, what a waste. But that's not what the game is about, you're saying. You're seeing past the best parts. What about the combat? Yeah, the combat is pretty good. However, it also has some weird interactions. For example, the fact that you do not instantly raise your saber when you hit the block parry button. Now for someone that played Sekiro, this is very irritating. Nothing you can work around, but still increasingly frustrating, especially if you want to chain parry or have multiple enemies hit you at a millisecond difference. And to be quite frank, I miss combos. Does anyone else miss combos? Where are they? Where are some nice combos or executions or something like that? Overall, I prefer the block and hit style gameplay to sheer button mashing, but to not build in any stylish fighting seems weird to me. And the skill points, while they are useful, I had expected different paths, you know, Carl being able to specialize on force or lightsaber combat or a mixture. But no, you just unlock everything. And what about the exploration? Well, honestly, I loved the exploration at the beginning of the game. Whenever I came to a new planet, the first thing I did was open the holomap to see where I could go that wasn't the route to the main objective. I searched for chests and scanned everything I could. I also really enjoyed the side stories that were scattered throughout the level. And then it kinda all fell apart. When I realized the customization in this game is bare minimum, not the lightsaber customization. That customization is great, honestly. But every other customization is absolute trash. Oh, you wanna search hundreds of chests to discover different colored ponchos or BD1 skins? Well, we have you covered. At the beginning, when I thought there was actually some different costumes or at least a Jedi robe or something, I tried to find every chest there was. But once you realize that the stuff you get out of the chest is pointless and uninteresting, you kind of stop caring, and the exploration content kind of becomes a mindless grind. Honestly, I could not be bothered to search for anything after I completed the game, because it was so goddamn uninteresting. What about the secrets, you say? The sense echoes that reveal side stories? Well, let me say it like this. The game could have really used side missions, because this dude storytelling through echoes just doesn't work in my eyes. Initially, I was very interested in discovering all the stories the plants had to offer, but it was just so damn frustrating. I mean, it is kind of like a retarded treasure hunt, where you want the person to find the treasure, but you make it stupid hard to find. So when I entered a new zone and discovered these echoes, I was interested. I was like, what happened here? But after finding like 3/4 of the echoes and being done with the zone, I really couldn't be bothered to go back and complete the story simply because I did not want to spend 30 extra minutes searching for minor details in the story. I wanted to experience the story. And being fed bits and pieces on the way is fine as long as you complete it at the end of the zone. But you don't. You have to take away from the flow of the main story to complete these chunks, and it just isn't that fun. So side missions would have actually been a good idea, because they would have helped develop the story further. Lastly though, I want to talk about this completionist argument that people have been bringing up. Well, 27, you only have 23 hours in the game. Because you did not complete the game fully, you are not a completionist. Honestly, I think we are all a bit of a completionist. There just is something about filling up a bar from 95 to 100. I don't think anybody is opposed to that. However, there's a difference between filling the endgame with mindless grinding or actual interesting content. And this game does not do the latter. If I would want to 100% this game, all I would be doing for the next 7 hours is running through already explored zones, trying to find chests that drop stuff that I don't want, and discovering tiny pieces of the side stories that are not worth the time it takes to find them. So no, I don't think this game is good completionist game, but feel free to disagree. I mean, the game has lots of tombs and chests, so maybe we should call it Rise of the Chest Raider. Ha. Now, I had a couple of other issues such as camera problems. I mean, I must have fallen to my death at least like 50 times right now. And I actually experienced quite a number of bugs, but that isn't game breaking. I just think that certain parts of the game disappoint. The cosmetics, for example, are lackluster. Excluding the lightsaber customization, the cosmetics are boring and uninspired, and don't get me started on the dialogue options. They were literally developed to be placed in a trailer. I mean, there are like 5 situations in the game where you can choose a dialogue option, and each time it is irrelevant, and honestly, they could have left it out of the game entirely and it would not have made much of a difference. In summary, this game is only upheld by its Star Wars theme. And if you were to take that away, the game below would be average at best. Now, it's not a bad game. It really isn't. I'm just tired of people putting it atop this pedestal. Back in the day, this game might have been legendary, but with companies like CD Projekt Red bringing out these revolutionary games, I just expected EA to be better. And yes, they did not put microtransactions in the game. Fucking congratulations. You know what? That should not be a positive to begin with. You should not applaud a producer for not fucking with the audience, alright? I'm tired of that. This game is a decent attempt at a Star Wars game, but if we would have had more Star Wars games in the last years, I guarantee you that people would be looking at this game differently. It was a nice attempt, but honestly, if I think about what they could have done with a modern technology, I shed a small tear of what could have been. It said we get this, and I know I was very negative in this video, but honestly, I think there needs to be one person that also highlights the stuff that isn't good about this game, and about the Star Wars gaming franchise in general. And if I have to be this dude for once, so be it. If you agree with me, or you hate me now, write in the comments and let me know. I honestly want to see what you guys think about this game and about the future of Star Wars games. Till then, I'll see you in the next episode. 27 Original, out.